So regarding the charter box, I cannot get the port numbers. I scanned so many times, but I didn't get it.
You are not getting the port number.
Yes,
Which port number you are not getting?
charter box port numbers.
Chatterbox, which port number?
There is only one port number visible, right?
Maybe there is some issue with your internet connection or your VPN. Okay. So if this thing happens, what you can do is you can try to change your network. You can try to re-establish your VPN. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. That way it is going to work.
okay. And so the doubt will come when I try to attempt the you know penetration test. So I cannot. Currently I have no doubt that if I do something, I can get out of.
Right. Right. So I have basically shared my screen. I hope everyone can see it. Let me set up my VPN connection. And I have my VPN successfully set up. Let's go to my Hack the Box profile. Let's log in here. Let's search for Cron OS. Let's click on play. Copied the target IP address. Let's try to ping. We are able to ping the machine. Okay, great. So let's start with our Nmap then. Let's do Nmap. Before that, let me just change my directory to Cron OS. Let's allow the scan to finish. Meanwhile, let's run a very basic Nmap scan here. Okay, so our very basic Nmap scan tells me that there is port 22, port number 53, and port number 80 that is open on my target machine. And the same thing is being revealed here as well. Okay, so let's do OS detection scan and version detection scan. Hmm. Let's do nmap hyphen p 22 53 80 SCV hyphen capital O, put all formats. So I'm running a version detection scan, but what I'm able to understand here is there is the scan results is also in front of me now. That there is some sort of web server running on my target machine. That's one thing, right? Because why can I see that there's a web server running? Tell me.
for uploading the website.
I'm saying why I am saying that on this IP address web server is running.
Port 53 DNS is open.
So 53 is for DNS. That means DNS server is running there. Port 80 HTTP is open. That means that web server is running. Okay. Because port 80 is open, that's why I'm saying that okay, the target machine is running a web server. Okay. So, okay, I can see OpenSSH 7.2, Apache HTTPD, and ISC bind 9103P4. Okay, great. The target operating system is Linux based. Okay. So from here, what I can do is I can try to explore port 80. Hmm. Let's go to my browser and let's open the browser here. Try to see this thing. Okay. And it says this is the default web page for Apache server. Okay. Apache Ubuntu default web page. So there is nothing much here. So what can I do here? How can I proceed from this point?
Set directory brute force.
Right. One thing that I can do is directly brute force. Anything else that comes to your mind?
You can check robot txt file.
Robots.txt definitely. So let's check it out. Nothing like this is here. Let's check out the view page source. Let's check out the source. Nothing seems to be interesting here as well. Okay, so what I can do is I can, from this point of time, I can try to enumerate the 53 port number. That is DNS server. So I can say that if DNS server is running here, maybe there is some sort of name server that is running on the target machine. Okay, so we will see how we can do DNS enumeration here. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's open a new terminal here. Let's do ns lookup and let's do server. I can just do for test purposes I can do 127001. I can just type server here, not server. I can just type 127001. No servers could be reached. Okay, let's do server 10 10 10 13. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to assign a server here 10 10 10 13, and I want to see if there is some sort of name server running here. So yes, there is a name server running, and it says ns1.cronOS.htb. This is the name server. Okay, I can identify it by the name as well. So let's do one thing. Let's modify the etc slash host file. Let's do cat slash etc slash host. Let's do cron os cron os.htb. I can mention something like ns1.cronOS.htb. Let me just save this file. I have saved this file. Let's try to query with their names cronOS.htb. And here I can see that, okay, yeah, there's virtual hosting, virtual routing, host routing is enabled here. Okay, because I can see now that there's some other web page that opens up here. Okay, this is something else, and what opens here with this name, it is something else. Okay, so I can probably try to brute force for the subdomains here. I can try to find out the virtual hosts here. Okay, so there are two ways by which I can do this. One is your DNS zone transfer attacks, or one is your subdomain enumeration or subdomain brute forcing. So let's try to see zone transfer. For zone transfer, I need to do dict axfr followed by domain name cronOS.htb. Okay, space @ target IP. Let's see. Okay, dir is not the command. The command is dig. Dig. There's a typo here. And here I can see a bunch of subdomains are being exposed here, are being revealed here, like cronOS.htb, cronOS.htb, admin.cronOS.htb, ns1.cronOS.htb, and your www.cronOS.htb, so on. So let's add these subdomains as well in the host file. Let's go back. Other subdomains are like www.cronOS.htb. These are the 4 subdomains which are available with me. Okay, one is the domain name, one is the name server, one is www subdomain, and one is your admin subdomain.
What is the motive for doing this?
So what is the
Motive for doing this?
why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So this is basically your DNS cache, you can say. This is a standard file /etc/host file.
Okay.
What how system works is, whenever you try to resolve a domain name, the first place where your system is going to look for DNS resolution is your local host file. If the system is able to find a domain name to IP address mapping in your /etc/host file. So that way it is not going to query it to the external DNS server.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm assigning the domain name and the IP address mapping. So this is your local DNS file, you can say, etc/host file. So now
Okay.
when I'm
Is it
typing
DNS
this,
caching?
yeah.
Okay.
So now when I'm going to type these domain names into the browser, my system is going to make a request to the corresponding IP address which is available here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just save it, close it, and let's try to open them one by one in the browser. So here I can see all these domain names which are available to me. This is your name server default page, www.cronOS.htb is your default subdomain. So this is this domain and this domain is one and the same thing. And admin.cronOS.htb is basically providing me with some sort of login portal here. Okay. So by subdomain enumeration, I was able to identify a subdomain which was having login page, login portal here. Okay. So I could have done the same thing using my GoBuster as well. Let me just show you how. Let's do GoBuster followed by -h if I'm going to do. You can see DNS is an option for subdomain brute forcing. So let's do DNS here. DNS followed by target domain name, that is let's say cron os.htb, followed by a word list. Let's take a word list, something like sec list. Let me just see where is sec list. So maybe it is not available. Let's try to download it.
Same, the name of full of Peninsula.
Let's wait for this sec list to download, and then we are going to use a word list from here, specifically designed for subdomains. And we'll be doing our subdomain brute forcing using the specialized word list. 67% done. It is taking a lot of time, probably due to slow internet. It's taking a lot of time. Let it run. Meanwhile, let's do one thing. Let's go to discovery. DNS. Let's take this one itself, the first one. Let's take this one. Download. So basically, this is the subdomain list that I'm going to use. Okay. And where was my GoBuster command getting ready? I don't know where it was. Let's run it from the beginning here. GoBuster DNS -d -u -w, sorry, -w / bitquark subdomains top 10. Okay, let's press enter. So here you can see that it has started brute forcing the subdomains, and within few seconds you can see that it has already found 3 subdomains available here. That is www, admin, and ns1. So let's get back here. This is how you can do subdomain brute forcing. Now, who is going to tell me how can I log in here?
SQL injection.
Yeah, I can do SQL injection. I can do authentication bypass here. I can try to guess the credentials here. That is also possible. Maybe admin password, something like that is available. So let's try. Admin password is not working. So let's do admin. Let's do RKS. Not able to log in this way. Let's do and I was able to log in here. Okay. So I can try to automate this procedure using burp as well. Okay, burp can also be used here at this point to automate this login bypass using burp. How can I use burp here to figure out the SQL injection authentication bypass? Can anyone tell me? No idea. Let me show you. Let's try to capture this request in the burp. So the username and passwords are being sent like this. Let's send it to intruder. Let's mention the payload options here. Let's go to payload and get the login bypass cheat sheet from here. Copy it, paste it here. And let's run start attack. Okay. Meanwhile, this is running. What I can see is I can see a bunch of HTTP redirects using these payloads. Okay. So what I can do is I can try to use these payloads here, like Edwin. Okay, let's try to use this one. Or the first one, let's try to use the first one. Not able to log in here. Let's try to use this second payload which is available here and third payload, which are basically these these ones. Not able to log in. Let's try to use this one, or let's take it from here. Still not able to log in. Okay, let's try to do everything remains the same. Okay, this is not going to work. Sorting on the basis of lengths basically here. Let's try to do this one. 1 equal to 1 or is equals to. So I'm just doing it uh, on the basis of trial and error method. I'm trying to look into these lengths here. Okay, and whatever length is not normal, which is not same, that's what I'm trying here. Okay, this way it is arranging all of these payloads or requests in the request sequence, and by clicking on length, I'm trying to rearrange them on the basis of length sizes. Okay. Another thing that you need to observe here is the responses which are showing you 302s. Okay. Let's just try to redo it. A bunch of 302 here, 302 here. We can try it using this one. And yes, it is working. So here we can see this 302, which says length as 2885. This payload is working here. Okay, let's close this, close this, close this. Yes. Okay, so now I have successfully gained access here. What should I do next? Hmm? What shall I do next?
So add payload and execute and by listen. By
Where
listen.
you are saying execute the payload, but where should I execute my payload? Where should I put my payload? That's the first question.
Bash payload.
Hmm?
Bash payload.
Bash payload. Okay, but where should I put that bash payload? And why should I use my bash payload?
Bash payload. The eight. Remove the eight and then
Okay, let me just try to execute this thing. Nothing is happening here. Click on this.
ping. Yes. Change the ping number.
Click on execute, and
We cannot change sir 8.8.8.
we can change it. We can change 8.8.8 as well. So what I can see here in the output is when I just do ping and I do like this, ping command gets executed, or I can say ping command got executed here. Okay. So behind
Yes.
the scenes, what I can imagine here is there is some sort of script which is taking input and it is running the user provided input on the terminal, something like this. Let me just show you. Something like this. If I just to ping 8.8.8, it is going to keep on running for infinite time. But if I do hyphen C1, something like this is running behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. Yeah, one is also going to work. Okay, so what I'm understanding here is that I'm able to control this part of this query. Okay, probably the query is ping hyphen C to something like this. Oh, sorry, ping hyphen C 1 8.8.8, something like this. This is the query that is running behind the scenes. Okay, so what I can do is if I want to execute some sort of commands here, how can I do that or how can I proceed from this point? How can I write more than one command in a single line?
Using pipe.
Using pipe, pipe is generally used for output redirection. If I just do pipe ls, so here you can see that the first command is not working, the second command is working here. Okay, but pipe is not the right choice of operator here. You can sometimes use pipe as well here, but that is not going to be the right or appropriate choice here. Anything else other than pipe?
GRE.
Hmm?
GRE.
It says grep command.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He says using grep command.
using get command,
Grep, grep.
grep command.
Yeah.
Yeah, but grep is not used to, the utility is not to pick something. Okay. What I can do here is I can use semicolon here and then type ls. So here what you can see is first of all first command is going to be executed. After that second command is going to be executed. Here you can see the output. Right?
Okay, sir.
So similarly, I am also going to use this semicolon followed by my custom bash command here. Okay. So I can try to use a reverse shell here. I can try to use a bash reverse shell here. Okay. Or I can see which all languages are supported here. I can do first of all, who am I? Execute. And I can see the output here. I can see uh, PWD. I'm here. I can do ls. These are the files. I can try to read these files. Cat, let's say welcome.php. I can read these files, okay? And here as well, I can see that this is the welcome.php and it is using this exec function, okay, to run these commands here. This is a PHP function used to run operating system OS commands. So similarly, I can check what all languages are supported here. Like I can do which Python is available, which bash is available, Perl is available, Ruby is not available, wget is available, netcat is also available. So what I can do is I can use this much variety of shells here. Okay, I can do one-liner bash shell, I can do one-liner netcat shell, so on and so forth. Okay, so for the timing, I will try with the bash shell, but you guys can are definitely open to more experimentation here. You can try using different programming languages for running different types of shells there. Bash one-liner reverse. This is the one-liner shell. Let's copy it. Let's paste it. Let's modify it. My L host is 10, 10, 10, 14, 11. Let's copy this from here and let's run sudo nc-nv lp 8080. The port is right, everything is right. Still, I'm not getting a shell back. 10, 10, 10. Not getting a shell back here. Let's try to use, let me just confirm my IP first. Yeah, the IP is right.
Port number change.
Okay. Port 8080. Right, everything is fine. Let's try to use it once more. Not getting a shell back.
Let's change
Okay, sorry,
change port number.
change port. Changing the port may help. Yeah,
Sorry.
I can try to change the port as well. Maybe uh, this specific port is blocked. So let's see. Let's try to use mostly whitelisted ports like 443. Let's see. Let's make it 443. Still, I'm not able to get a shell back. Okay. So,
Why the first command is not executed?
sorry.
Why the first command 8.8.8. It is a trace route.
Yeah, this is trace route.
Yeah.
Yeah, so trace route is not showing me any output.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's get a netcat shell here. 10, 10, 10, 14, 11. 1 2 3 4. Not able to get a shell back here. No. Let's try to make it 4 for 3. Not working, still not working. So I figured out some other languages were also available. So I can try using some other language like Perl. Let's go for Perl. Control C. Here I need to change the IP as 10, 14, 11. Make it 443. I have a listener here. It did not got copied. Let's cat it again. Yeah. So I got a shell back here. Okay. Bash and Netcut were not able, what were not giving me a reverse shell, but now as you can see, I have a shell back. Okay. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, guys. So I have successfully exploited the machine. I have gained the access. Okay. I am inside the machine. So now let's check the current user here. Let's check out who am I, and I am dub data here. Okay. So definitely I need to escalate my privileges from this point. Any suggestions on privilege escalation? Can you guys tell me what methodology I can follow for privilege?
So we can use Python -c import pty.
That is for upgrading the shells. Python -c import pty dot spawn slash bin slash bash. That is for shell upgradation. So here I need to do local privilege escalation. Before that, I need to do local Linux enumeration.
Find the kernel version.
Right, so I can find the kernel version like u namespace -a. Let's just type u namespace -a, and I can see it's Linux cron OS 440. Okay, 64-bit. Let's check this out. Ubuntu. Okay, let's copy this. Go here. This is the first exploit that pops up here. Let me try to see. Linux kernel less than 440. Yeah, it is matching my specifications, and it's a local privilege escalation exploit. Okay, Ubuntu. So what I can do is I can try to download this exploit and run this exploit. That's what I can do. but I can see that it's a C exploit. If I just click on download, you will see it is going to provide me with a C file. So for C files, you need a compiler. Let me see if I have a compiler here. GCC is not available here. So at this time, what I can do is either I can skip with this exploitation, or else what I can do is I can download this file, compile it in my local operating system, my attacker operating system, okay, and then send the compiled file, compiled exploit to the target, okay, and then execute it for getting a shell. So this is something that you guys can try, give it a try. This is one way out. There is one more way out. What else can we do?
Change the extension.
Sorry,
The extension.
change the extension.
Yeah.
Extension of what?
Like C2, Perl, or Python.
Okay, let me just see. Let me just find slash, oops, find slash hyphen pump hyphen u equals to s, and then hyphen type equals to f, version slash dev slash null. Let's see. Let's look for SUID executable files, SUID bit files. I have certain files here, but nothing seems to be unusual. CHSS, new UID map, sudo. I can do sudo hyphen L here. No TTY present, no ASPAS program specified. Let's do Python hyphen C, import pty dot spawn slash bin slash bash sudo hyphen L. When I try to do sudo hyphen L, it is asking me for the password for www data, but I do not know the password for this user. So probably this is not an appropriate way of doing this thing. Okay. Command not found. Okay. So what else can I do? I can try to look into cron jobs. Okay. I can try to see what all scheduled tasks are running here. Okay, I can search for cron jobs. So one option is cron tab hyphen L. No cron tab for www data. Okay, but this is not at all the end. Other ways of doing this is I can just go to cd slash etc. हाँ सागर नहीं तो यार cd cron tab cd cron jobs cd cron job. Okay, cron job is not available here. Let me try to see in my Linux. cd slash etc. Cron tab. Yeah, I have this cron tab file here. Okay, so let's try to read this file here where I got a shell back. Cat cron tab. Okay, and when I try to read this file, what I can see is I have certain cron jobs scheduled here. There is one file that is of interest to me, that is this var www laravel artisan, and it's a PHP file probably. This is the command which is being run, which is running every day, every time, every minute. Okay, I can see all 5 stars here. These 5 stars are for month, hour, day. Okay, so this is of interest to me. Let me try to see the file permissions of this file. Oops. And the file permissions for this file is, the owner of the file is www data, read write execute, read execute, read execute. So www data can read this file, write this file, execute this file, and it's a PHP file. Okay, and there is a cron job which is running, which is going to execute this file with root permissions. Okay, so what if I am able to put my malicious PHP reverse shell here? Okay, what I'm going to get is, I'm going to get a root level root level shell from my target machine. So let's do this thing. Copy this file, and either I can copy this file and modify this here, or or else I can directly download this file. So let's do one thing. Let me just save it. Don't save. Let's do sudo bang bang. Let's set up a server here. The L host and L port has been edited here. Let's do sudo python 3 -m http dot server. Oops. Let's get this file. Let's do wget क्या हुआ? paste the file that you want to grab, hyphen capital O, the output file where you want to save it here, var www laravel artisan, and let's press enter. The file has been downloaded and saved. And now let's quickly start a listener over here so that as soon as that PHP shell get executed, we get a shell back here. Let's just type date here. And we have a shell here. Let's type who am I, and it is root. Okay. And we have successfully rooted one more machine. Let's go to home directory, cd knowledge cat user.txt, cd slash root cat root.txt. We have both the flags. Just copy these flags from here, go here, paste it here, and you are good to go. Okay. Yeah, guys. So anything that is not clear? Anything that you want to clarify? Guys, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Justin.
Sir, if you know, when I practice, only I'll get doubts. So
Right,
if you can solve on that time, it's much better.
right. So when you are going to practice, then you are